I want to take a second, or actually a couple minutes, to share some career advice. And it was sparked by a conversation, actually messages back and forth with a friend of mine, once a colleague, um, about his next career path and what he is intending to do. My advice, and we can all agree on it and we can debate it back and forth, but my advice is if you really want to reach your full potential and reach that position or that level of influence or that level of authority or that level of ability to help many people, you need to be strategic, you need to be thoughtful, you need to be intentional. So think about where do you want to be in 10, 15, 20 years. I know it may be difficult and challenging. And if you want to work for yourself and be an entrepreneur, that's fine. Start that. That's a side gig. Start that on nights and weekends and do that. That's a great thing. But if you're working in a particular industry and you would want to be your boss's boss's boss in 15 years, figure out what that person did to get there. Look at other companies and businesses in the same industry in the area and see who are the people in those same positions and how they get there, and then break that down to manageable chunks and decide what are the next steps that you need to take to eventually get there. You may have to go to 2, 3, 4 different positions by the time you're finally qualified, experienced enough, seasoned enough to be considered for that top leadership spot. So whether it's a 3 to 5 year chunks, I'm going to go somewhere for 3 to 5 years, get 1, 2, and 3 done, move on to the next one for 3 or 5 or 7, move on to the next one, and so on. That's something you would only know based on what your goals are. One advice though to have is staying too long in one place, or staying like 30 years in one place and now you're moving, can work out, but often it poses certain challenges and questions in the minds of next hiring and new hiring agents and their search committees. But what's even more troubling are jumpers, so to speak. Folks who get a new job every 6 to 7 months. Yes, you're looking for something new, you're trying to find yourself, but think about that first and then put the strategy in place and act on it instead of going to a new place, being there for 6 months, boom, next one, 6 months, 6 months, 7 months, 9 months, whatever it is. Because you're going to start developing a track record of a liability, so to speak. Because if someone is interviewing you, if I'm interviewing you and I'm looking at your job, your resume, your CV, and over the last 10, 12, 15 years, the last, let's say 15 years, you've had 17 jobs. That to me is a red flag, meaning if I hire you, you'll be gone in 6 months from here as well. Do I want to do this again? Do I want to put the search committee again? Do I want to go through hundreds of resumes again 6 months from now? Probably not. So you want to look for some stability. Somebody who wants to be invested in the firm, in the company. Somebody who wants to spend 3, 4, 5, and longer years. At least 3 or 4 years. Who wants to be there, who make an impact, to build relationships, to provide value to you, your team, the overall organization. So look at those folks and position yourself as one of those. Figure out what the ultimate goal is, and which ultimate goal will change and can change with time. And as it changes, you adjust accordingly. But figure out where you want to be in 10, 15, 20 years, depending on how many more years you have to work or until you hit lottery. And then take those steps necessary to get there. You're not going to jump from here to there, right? And if you're consistently jumping all over the place, you're not going anywhere. It's like you lost your compass. So think about that and be very thoughtful and strategic and intentional with your career.